Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. 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 Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. It is quite awkward for me to sit on this seat in front of Maharaj, but with his blessings. I'll just speak few words. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is Canto 2, Chapter 5, text number 36. Yasyaiha avayavair lokan kalpayanti manishinaha adhyadbir adasaptha saptordhvam jaganadibihi. Yasyaiha avayavair lokan kalpayanti manishinaha adhyadbir adasaptha saptordhvam jaganadibihi. Yasyaiha avayavair lokan kalpyanti manishinaha adhyadvir adahas saptha saptordhvam jaganadibihi.
Yasyeha vayar lokan
Yasyaiha avayair lokan
kalpayanti manishinaha
kalpyanti manishinaha
pacha adibir adak sapta
katyadvir adahas saptha
saptordvam jaganadibihi.
saptordhvam jaganadibihi. Anyone else? Yasya, whose, iha, in the universe, avayavaihi, by the limbs of the body, lokan, all the planets, kalpayanti, imagine, manishinaha, great philosophers, kati adibihi, down from the waist, adaha, downwards, sapta, 7 systems, sapta urdhvam, and 7 systems upwards, jahanaha adibihi, front portion. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Great philosophers imagine that the complete planetary systems is the universe or displays of the different upper and lower limbs of the universal body of the Lord. Purport. The word kalpayanti or imagine is significant. The Virat universal form of the Absolute is an imagination of the speculative philosophers who are unable to adjust to the eternal two-handed form of Lord Sri Krishna. Although the universal form as imagined by the great philosophers is one of the features of the Lord, it is more or less imaginary. It is said that the 7 upper planetary systems are situated above the waist of the universal form, whereas the lower planetary systems are situated below his waist. The idea impressed herein is that the Supreme Lord is conscious of every part of his body. And now nowhere in the creation is there anything beyond his control. Yasya iha avayabir lokan kalpayanti manishinaha katayanti bir adaha sapta saptodhruvam jaganadibihi. Om ajnanam timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurun militam mena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Canto 2, Chapter 5, entitled as The Cause of All Causes. Sarva Karana Karanam, which we are all familiar with that particular line from Brahma Samhita, that who is the cause of all causes. Before we get into this today's sloka, I was just thinking it will be nice for myself to do a quick overview of what is this chapter is all about and where it led to this particular point. There's a conversation happens between Narada Muni and Brahmaji. They are having conversation. In the conversation, Narada Rishi is asking a question. Deva Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavan Purvaja Tad Vignika Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. This is the first sloka. He asked, Sri Narada asked Brahmaji, O chief among the demigods, O firstborn living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and super soul. What happens whenever the two great souls meet with each other? The outcome is something very special. When two people talk, how great depends on the outcome of the conversation. Krishna and Arjuna spoke, we got Bhagavad Gita. Janamejaya and Vaishampayana, they spoke, Mahabharata came. Conversation between Narada Muni and Valmiki happened, Ramayana appeared. Now, here Saunaka and Sutta Goswami, Bhagavatam appeared. Therefore, when two great souls meet with each other, the outcome is wonderful for the benefit of humanity. That's very important. Therefore, the conversation that we have with our peers, with our seniors, with our new devotees, it should be in a way it's productive for both the speaker as well as the hearer. Both of them should benefit by the conversation. The conversation should not end up creating some sort of agitation in mind after the conversation ends. One should be happy to come and meet that person again because they love to talk to this person, hear to this person. Therefore, we can see here, Narada Muni is inquiring going to inquire some questions to Brahmaji, which is not only his personal questions, but the question that he's asking is very important for all of us. And also the answer that he's going to get from Brahma is very, very important for all of us to understand. Now, in the second sloka, Yad Rupam Yad Adrishtanam Yataha Srishtam Midam Prabhu Yad Samsristam Yad Param Yatcha Tat Tattvam Vada Tattvataha. My dear father, because Narada's father is Brahma, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest world. Now the questions comes. What its background? How is it created? How is it conversed? And what under whose control is all this being done? It would have been much nicer. I would have been able to hear from Maharaj on this particular slokas, because I am a great fan of Maharaj, not speaking because Maharaj is here, but I tell this even in St. Louis. If anything you have about creations or the whole universal system, just refer to Maharaj's book. Right. So the same question is asked by Narada Muni. Who what is this? How does whole manifestation of this world happened? Was it existing before? Did it start at one in 2013 or 1946? It started appearing. When? What is the year? What's the time frame? How did this all come into existence? Could you please tell? Because you are the Father. You are the Supreme. That's how he's telling now. You are the Supreme. You know everything. Therefore, I want to hear from you. Sarvam ihayit bhavan veda bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu. This line, bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu, is in Vishnu Sahasranavam also. Beautiful. Karamalak vad vishwam vijnana vishitam tava. My dear Father, all this known to you scientifically, because whatever created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, or whatever is being created at present, as well as everything within the universe, is within your grip. So Narada Muni is telling, you know everything, because without you, nothing could have happened. It's you who knows everything. You are the source. Yet vijnana yet adharo yet parastvam yet atmakaha ekas rajasi bhutani bhute evatma mayayam. My dear Father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? It's a beautiful question, because I'm sitting on this Vyasasana. One may tell, I may think that the Vyasasana is holding me without falling down. But actually, this Vyasasana is also held by the floor over here. So the floor is holding the Vyasasana, and the Vyasasana is holding me. For me, Adharam, the foundation, is Vyasasana. The Vyasasana foundation is this ground over here. But then what about this floor? The floor is supported by the pillars over there. So the pillars become the Adharam for the floor. What about the pillar? The foundation, the basement that you have, the foundation, the construction is going on. You can see all those cement and everything. That is the foundation for the pillars. What about the foundation that you see in the basement? The earth. Now the question comes, what is the foundation of earth? How can this something called you just take a small ball, just a ball, and put it up. Naturally, the gravity will pull, it's going to come down. But what wonderful thing is that these balls, big size balls, Earth, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, you can think, these are just few names we know. But there are hundreds and thousands and millions of planets. They are all floating on the sky. What is the Adharam? What is the foundation? What's the base? How is that being protected or held? Right? You got to go to UMKC to understand. Right? UMKC. So they will teach you how the gravity happens, how it's all. Come on, it's very simple. Come to Srimad Bhagavatam class and we'll get all the answers. Narada already asked all these questions long back, but we pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to go to school to learn how these planets are made and what. Still, it's not, answers are not accurate, by the way, after paying so much money, right?
Horrible.
Maharaj.
Yeah, the Vedic knowledge teaches that
Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai.
basis of the earth or the Bhumandala is Balaram in his form as Sheshanag. He's holding the whole Bhumandala on one of his hoods. And his basis, he's being held up. This is a question discussed in the Garga Samhita also. The question, how did he get that task? He was asked to do that service by Lord Krishna. But he didn't think himself capable of holding this heavy Bhumandala on his hood. So he said, don't worry, I'll come as the tortoise incarnation and you'll rest on me, in the shell of the tortoise, Kurma. And then Kurma is taking shelter of the water. He's on the ocean, carbon dioxide ocean. And so then there's other further. But as far as the earth goes, the Bhumandala, of which we are part, we're just a tiny part of the Bhumandala, is very vast. So this is why the temple of Vedic planetarium is important, because it will give the world's thinkers an opportunity to see a different outlook on how everything is going on and designed according to the Vedic viewpoint, not happening accidentally. As you point out, this we also use the same verse at the beginning of our Vedic Cosmos presentation, because this is the crux of the whole understanding: is what is going on? How is this whole thing come to pass? And is it being done accidentally or like that? So a real scientist, he has answers. He doesn't just say it comes from void. That's not an answer.
Yeah.
That's avoiding the question. How do you explain it? It comes from nothing. I thought a child could do better than that.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Please keep coming inside and add more values. This is really beautiful. Thank you, Maharaj. So yeah, it's nothing is void, as Maharaj says. That's not school of thought that we are following, or even the Sanatana Dharma. The scripture doesn't say that that everything is void. Therefore, Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta and great souls have appeared into this world to completely destroy this voidism and Sunyavadam and just voidism to remove. So moving on here, Atman bhavayasi thani na parabhavayan swayam Atma shaktim avastabhya urnabir iva klamaha. You know, the spider makes a spider webs, and where the webs come from. Go to a nearby grocery shop and took a bubble gum or chewing gum and put it inside, chew it nicely, and then start, the kids dad said, you chew something and then you blow it, the round thing, what is it called? The bubble comes out, right? Maybe the spider went to a close by grocery shop and purchased something and started chewing it, and then the web came out. No, the webs are within the body of the spider, and it just generates it. And when it's finished, it just takes everything back into the body. Entire creation is like that. The Supreme Lord, everything comes from him, and then everything goes back to him. And then he goes on saying this one. The further, now Brahma starts speaking. This is verse number 9. Brahma starts speaking. I'm not going to go through all the verses. We are just trying to fill in so you can understand this one for my own sake. Brahma says, Samyak karanai kasyadam vatsa idi vikshichitam yet aham chodisa saumya bhagavat virya darshane. So for whatever you said is absolutely perfect, and the questions are so valid. All the questions that you asked is so very valid. But try to understand one thing. Before I answer, I want to pay my obeisances. Tasmai namo bhavate vasudevaya dhimahi yan mayaya durjaya mam vadanti jagat gurum. I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, less intelligent class of men, to call me the supreme controller. Here is the answer. He says, only the less intelligent people will call me as the creator and controller and maintainer. Brahma himself says, usually when someone comes and tells, Prabhu, I'm just taking the name here, right? Damodar Prabhu, you're so very great, or not you, me. Lal Gopal Das, you're so very great, you're nice, you're so-and-so, you're charitable, etc., etc. I'm not going, I will say, oh, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Even though none of those things are true, when someone praises, it just like pouring honey into your ears. It's very hard to say no to all these praises. But as devotees, we understand all the glories to Guru and Gauranga. Right? Whatever we are here today, that we have been glorified for whatever skills and whatever things that we may have, it simply is being thrown to us by our Guru and Gauranga. We don't have any qualification. We don't have anything for that matter. So if you try to behave in such a way with pride, with ahankar, those things will be taken away. Not by necessarily by Guru. Krishna was unpleased by the behaviors. He will just revert back the special mercy. Therefore, it's very important for us to carefully be in the mood of servant of, servant of, servant of, servant, and serve the Vaishnavas and follow the instructions of Guru. It's very important. Therefore, here Brahmaji says that whatever you glorified me is very nice, but I am not fit for that. I am not the real controller. I am not the maintainer. I am not the sustainer. It is Krishna, Vasudeva, the supreme personality of Godhead. He does everything by his energies. He creates everything by his energy. The energy, the Lord's, the way that he creates is that it says, Ekapada Vibhuti. This material world is 1/4 of his creation. Ekapada Vibhuti. Vibhuti means opulence. Do you remember this term Vibhuti? It comes in Bhagavad Gita. A chapter name is itself called Vibhuti. It's Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti Yoga. So in this Vibhuti Yoga, the opulences of the Lord, the Vibhuti Yoga, Krishna says, this is I am, this is I am, this is I am, Aham Vishnuhu, Aham Indraha, Aham Rudra, Aham Skanda, Aham Varuna. He goes on telling all this 10th chapter. And then Arjuna was curious, whatever you said, I like to see that. And Vishwarupa Darishana, the 11th chapter comes, Vishwarupa Darishana. And what we are discussing or being told here is close to what we studied in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter and 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Purushottama Yoga, Vishwarupa Darishana Yoga. These 2 chapters is what been covered also in the 2nd canto and the 3rd canto during these things. Now, the Lord creates, the creation of this material world is 1/4 of his entire creation. 1/4. The 3/4 is a spiritual world. Tripada Vibhuti, the spiritual world. Vaikunta, Ayodhyadam, Goloka, everything is within that 3/4. When we say 1/4 and 3/4, still it is just for our understanding, just to understand. We are always our mind goes with numbers. Therefore, to tell us 1/4 and 3/4, but really speaking, even that 1/4 is immeasurable. Is immeasurable. Then think about the spiritual world, how big that could be. It's unimaginable. Prakriti is spiritual is so unimaginable. But we come into this Prakriti, we take birth into this Prakriti, and what this material world does to us is 3 things. It does 3 things. What it does, it puts us into ignorance. It puts it into ignorance. What's the ignorance that we all generally have is, I am Indian. You are American. I am black. You are white. I am male. You are female. Right? I am handsome. You are ugly. So it's all puts us into a ignorance of thinking aham, this body, dehatma buddhi. Dehatma buddhi means the atma and body is non-different. Is one and the same. There's no concept of atma as separate. When I die, when the body finishes, I am done. This is what the first thing that we all get affected with. I am this body. Because of that, a lot of problem comes. Because of avidya, the ignorance, the desire comes that I want to satisfy my body. Everything I do, I think, I speak is to satisfy my body. Avidya. Second one it does is, this material world, Maya, what it does to us is, first one is make us think that we are this body. Second thing is, it thinks we are all independent. Swatantriyam. We are all not dependent, we are independent individual. Who are you to tell me? If someone comes and tells something to us, excuse me, Prabhu, mind your business. I know what I'm doing. I've been in the temple for so many years. Or you may, this is all nothing but comes out of this nature of I am independent. No one can control me. Even this, unfortunately, even that's there in some levels within us as devotees. Are we ready to hear good advices, corrections when someone tells us? Or are we trying to defend ourselves by making ourselves saying that I'm correct, you are wrong? Therefore, this nature of being independent is so very dangerous, but that's what the Prakriti does. Makes us feel I am independent, I can save myself, I know what I'm doing. I'm better than anyone else. I'm independent. I can save myself. Well, you go and tell someone, please, Krishna is the savior. Well, I am the one who's paying the insurance. I am the one who's paying the mortgage. So I am taking care of myself. Whereas Krishna is doing this, I am doing everything. People doesn't understand. People doesn't understand this one. You all know this very famous Prabhupada's pastime where Prabhupada, one devotee comes and tells to Prabhupada, this community says that, if you pray to God, you won't get your bread. And many people started following the truck in Russia, saying that, give me bread. And then those people, the Communist Party, started giving the bread. See, did your God give? We gave you bread. And this message went to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, you people are not intelligent to ask a question back to those people. Ask them where they got the bread from. They got the bread from. Ultimately, the supplier for all of us is Krishna. We may realize, we may not realize, we may accept, we may not accept. It is only Krishna. We are all completely dependent on Krishna. Just imagine how Krishna has given us to capacity to breathe, to walk, to see, to smell, to hear. If Krishna has not created this whole thing, how can he even function properly? Not so very difficult. To take a one step out, or even to inhale and exhale, we are depending on Krishna's energies. Krishna's energy. Shut down the whole room, no air. We will die in few hours. Therefore, we are dependent on Krishna all the time. So the first point is, it makes us think that we are the body. The second point is, it makes us think that we're independent. And the third point is important, that every object around me is for my own enjoyment. The Maya creates a situation in our mind, making us to think that everyone around me is for my enjoyment. You serve me. This object, beautiful object is for me. This thing is for me. Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Everything is for my enjoyment. This is the problem that we all have, and that is what the Prakriti creates for all of us. So Brahma goes on the details of saying to Narada Muni that, my dear child, Narada Muni, Narada, the actual creation is done by Krishna. Actual creator is Krishna. Then what are you? I am just a subcontracted person. You contract a person out to do some constructions. I'm just like, we see the basement in the below, they are doing construction work. Now the constructor, if you employ a person to come and do a construction, he's going to go close by Home Depot or whatever, the Lowe's or whatever the thing you have there. They're going to buy the wooden pieces, nails, and whatever you can think of. They're buying everything coming here and then start putting things together and then make the beautiful rooms down. So who created this, going to create this beautiful room in the and everything? Some professional contractor, architect, or whoever is, engineer comes and does. Well, that is exactly what Brahma does. The tools are already available. What Brahma does is brings all those things together and puts things, assembles everything together, and he gets a credit of being a creator. But where did you get these tools from in first place? Right? The lumber, what is it called? These, the constructive cement and all those different things. Someone already created those things. We are just taking all those things, assembling things together. So therefore, the Prakriti from the Prakriti Mahatattva. Mahatattva is, you can't even imagine how big that is. Mahatattva. And from that Mahan comes Ahankara. From Ahankara comes three things. Ahankara has divided into three parts. Satvika Ahankara, Rajasa Ahankara, Tamasa Ahankara. So from the Lord, these things comes. I'm skipping many parts in between just to stay on the track here, but you can read these details in the Bhagavatam. From the Mahan, three Ahankaras: Satvika Ahankara, Rajasa Ahankara, Tamasa Ahankara. From Satvika Ahankara comes 11 items. There are 11 things comes. 5 Jnana Indriya, 5 Karma Indriya. 5 Jnana Indriya is Sabda Sparisha Rupa Rasa Ghanta no, that is a Tanmantra. Or 5 Jnana Indriya to sense and understand what's going on around us, to seeing senses through the eyes, through the ear, through the smell, through the taste, through the touch, all those different things. So anyway, to walk, to lift, to evacuate, these are all altogether 10 items. And the chief of this 10 items is Manas, mind. 5 karma, 5 jnanendriya and the mind. These are all comes from the Satvika Ahankara. From the Tamasa Ahankara comes another 5 plus 5, 10. That is Tanmatra, Shabda, Sparisha, Rupa, Rasa, Ghanta. That is the Akasha, and then the air, and then the fire, and ether, air, fire, and then what is it? The earth, all this 5 element comes. Right? Pancha Bhuta, everything comes, this 10 comes. All this 10 plus 11, which is 21, together is made, used to mix together, and then finally a body has been made. Based on the karma of each individual, a specific body is made of this composition. You become, take a human body and be born in India. You take a body because of your previous karma, be born as a dog in America. These are different bodies. Therefore, Brahma says to Narada, I am the secondary creator. And Samashti Srishti, Vyashti Srishti. These are two terms. Samashti Srishti, Krishna creates, sets up the ground. Vyashti Srishti is where Brahma takes up all the objects and start creating and putting things together. And after all these things happens, even before that, one Bhagavatam says, the Lord comes into this universe, each and every universe. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And then he takes another form as Hiranya Garbha. Hiranya Garbha is where he takes a big form. From his body, the 14 planetary systems can be imagined. The 7 at the top, 7 at the bottom. 7 at the bottom. And that is where this sloka gets connected from this whole chapter. That's where we are in this 36th sloka. Okay. Bill, we have to stop at 8:30, Prabhu? Right? We can have some questions. Maharaj is here. Yes. So that is all about this. This particular sloka talks about that the whole form, the universal form of the Lord, where the 14 planetary systems are there. And the coming up sloka is going to describe where these planets are situated, starting from his feet, lotus feet, to the top, all the 14 planetary systems. Okay. Stay tuned for coming slokas. Okay, Prabhu. You had some questions, someone? And in tomorrow's thing, the Purusha Shukta is where the essence of all Vedas is there in Purusha Shukta. And whatever we are reading here, studying here, is there in Purusha Shukta also. We'll see that tomorrow. Chanting the Purusha Shukta and how it matches with the slokas over here. Yes.
Hare Krishna and Prabhu, thank you for class. Krishna gave the realization recently that language is full of mine, me, my's, and I's. And so you have like iPhone, iPod,
Yeah.
iPad, it goes on. And I was looking at different words, and one of them is individual. And when you take the N out of the word individual, the letter N, you have I divide you all. So it seems as though it's a pitfall in language that has been set up to focus so much on the me, mine, and my. And I was quite shocked to find these things out. But now I'm looking to how perfect Sanskrit is, and just a realization.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for the comment. Therefore, many times if you see, except in Bhagavad Gita, many times Krishna is the only authorized person who can boldly say aham, I. He can tell. But if you see other acharyas' writings, poems, and other places, they will very minimal use of aham. You won't see aham very often in many other writings. If at all they say aham, they will tell, look at me, aham, I am so ignorant. I am so foolish. I am so fallen. In that sense, they will use I. Not that I am great. I am the one you should be worshipped. Not like that. Thank you. Yes.
This is about the beginning of your lecture. When you were talking about great personalities coming together and talking about great things. But like, what kind of topics should we talk about? Is it okay to engage in small talk at all?
Small talk.
You know,
Yeah.
this especially comes up for me with Sunday feast and preaching to people.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I've heard that we should talk, that we should hear about the other person.
Okay.
If we want to.
Okay. So if you read Prabhupada's, during Prabhupada's time in this world, I can't remember exactly where. I think it's Australia somewhere. I think a new person came to see Prabhupada. And this person was a race. He drives car race. So he comes to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada for 10, 15, 20 minutes, he was talking all about car race. He was just talking about racing. He was talking about the cars. He was talking about how he does. And he was just engaged, so much involved and engaged with the discussion with this person, where that person got involved. The topic went, and then Prabhupada says that, do you know that car race, you're doing this at it's fragile, and anytime life may go away. A small mistake, you hit somewhere, there are chances you lose your life. And that the person who came, the 15 minutes conversation was different. Now, when Prabhupada said this one, he has already bought into Prabhupada. Prabhupada purchased this person's heart already. So talks like that is very important. You don't talk to any fresh people, new people. You have to start 16 rounds and become a sannyasi or brahmachari, join. No, we have to. I never became like that. I'm sure no one told you initially, Prabhu, you have to shave your head and wear this color of dress. No more jeans pant and all. No more all. No. So small talks are good with the intention that the small talk doesn't become a long talk, get into Maya. So we have to be careful on that. Is it okay? Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can I just say 2 comments and 1 question?
Please.
So the comments are short. My first comment is in relation to your answer to Jagannath Prabhu's question. And
a little closer. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
So my first comment was that your answer reminded me of Vaisheshika Maharaj. He likes to say that they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And then the second comment, with you were talking about how everything, or when we come into the material world, we're put into ignorance. And I was reading the Prabhupada Nectar book by Sataru Maharaj, and it's so nice. He just tells little pastimes of Srila Prabhupada.
Oh,
And one I read recently was how Prabhupada liked to dissect words. And one word I just read was ignorance, and he pronounced it ignorance. And he defined it as we are in ignorance, we're ignoring Krishna. I like that. And then my question is,
thank you for those beautiful add-ons to this. Enrich the whole discussion over here. Thank you. Your question?
my question is, so we're hearing about Lord Brahma and his humility and although he's so great, and he's creating, using the tools and materials that Krishna had already created. He has such humility. So my question is, although we hear so much about just develop a good service attitude, just do devotional service, serve the devotees, serve your spiritual master. It's easy for me to hear this, but truly developing selflessness, I struggle with that. I still find myself very selfish. So I was wanting to ask you, what are some advice that you might have for one who wants to develop more selflessness and humility? Thank you.
Okay. I mean, I've been here to give class and share some points, not to give big advices. I'm struggling myself. Maharaj is here to give advice to you all, but I will just share what I heard from great souls. It is a struggle. It is similar to the question that we had last night. If you remember the home program, and that person was asking, it's nice to be here doing Madhura Ashtakam and everything. When you go out, we forget everything. And it's quite similar to, you say, do you agree it's quite similar to that, or a different version of the same question, right?
Yeah, it is similar. I liked your answer to just gradually, keep chanting, coming together and reading and hearing about Krishna.
Yeah, that is for the people who are new to Krishna consciousness. You tell them that chant and things will be all right, right? So I'm already chanting. I'm already attending the programs. I'm already doing services. I know the philosophy, but that the but comes into questions, right? So the but is not only, we cannot get rid of this but even at the time of death. That's the mode that we should carry first, right? The first thing is that I'm still practitioner, sadhaka. I have way to do. So that is first consciousness we should have, is remember that if we think that we have perfected in all aspects, then like Prabhu said, aham will come. I have perfected. I have perfected. So it's better. There's one story, nice story in Narsimha Purana, where one Brahmana gets up morning at 4 o'clock, never fails to come to Mangalarti, never fails. He does puja, everything pakka. He's been doing that for years. Okay. One day. So he was sleeping and it was getting late. And it was almost 3:45. Then he realized it's only 15 minutes left to go to Mangalarti, 4:30 Mangalarti. Okay, adjust your time, whatever it is. Here is 4:30, right? So he said, oh my God, only 15. But then he thought, let me doze off for a few seconds. But then someone, it's time for Mangalarti. Please go, get ready. Go. And he heard this voice. He did not turn to look who that person was, but he rushed, took shower, put the tilak, rushed into the temple right on dot 4:30. He entered the temple. Mangalarti over, everything was over. Then he was recollecting what happened. Who was that person came and woke me up? Because I live by myself. No one is here around me. Who came and woke me up? Then he went back to his room and saw that person was still there. And yes, who are you? Thank you so much, Maya. And I I have a great gratitude for you for waking me. Otherwise, I would have missed the Mangalarti, which I never missed in my life. Okay. Now he asked, who are you? And that person said, I am Maya. I am Maya personification. If you're Maya, you should have let me sleep. Correct? You all agree? Yes. If you're Maya, you should have let me sleep. Why did you wake me up and made me go to Mangalarti sharp at 4:30? He gives a beautiful answer. Maya gives a beautiful answer. You see, you have never missed Mangalarti in your life. Yes? Yes. If you have missed today, then you would have become humble. You would have become humble because you always have a pride that I am the one who always attend Mangalarti. Never miss. That Prabhu did not come for Mangalarti on Sunday. This Mataji did not come for Mangalarti. She comes always late. But you have the pride that you always do Mangalarti perfectly. You have that pride, Agam. Therefore, if you fail to do that one, you will become humble. I don't want you to be humble. Let your Agam continue, grow and grow and grow, where you'll fall down. Maya. Maya can affect us in any different ways. We can't even imagine in what form it comes. Do you get that answer, the first part of answer? Therefore, it's important that we have to always have that mood of I have to do more. I have to do more. I have to work hard. I'm not there yet. That mood, the sense of that sense is very good to have. But that sense does not make one to become put the person into a depression. That should not be the case. Because why? By the grace of Guru, we will make it happen. It's not by my own effort that I will become a perfect devotee. It's only because of my Guru's mercy, I can get to that point where Krishna is pleased with me. Okay? Maharaj wants to add something. Okay. It's 8:44. I think if you're okay, we can conclude. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please forgive me for any offenses. Hare Krishna.